Have you ever been so focused on yourself that you missed what was right in front of you? Today we bring you the story of such a person, someone who got a lesson he'll never forget from a wise old man. Raymond Vale was a billionaire and a very arrogant venture capitalist, known for being aggressive and a bit of a show-off. Once he went to Dubai for an exclusive real estate summit. All the big names in the industry were there, but amidst all the commotion of tourists haggling over souvenirs, spices, and silks, Raymond stood out like a sore thumb. He wanted everyone to know he was there. He wanted the best, and he wanted to show off how much he could devour. As he wandered through the busy market, the smell of roasted lamb and saffron rice filled his nostrils. He stopped at a table piled high with fragrant spices and glistening dates. But as his eyes scanned the crowd, they landed on something intriguing, a clean, exotic private booth tucked away from the bustling crowd. Plush velvet chairs invited him to sit back and relax. Intrigued, he decided to check it out. And when he stepped inside, two men dressed in dark suits stood up from their seats. They looked at Raymond with intense eyes. One of them spoke in a low voice. "Mr. Vale, I presume." "We've been expecting you." Ramon couldn't help but feel a sense of curiosity. "Expecting me how?" he asked, intrigued. The man leaned closer and whispered something in Raymond's ear. Startled, Raymond sat down abruptly. "What did you say? Are you threatening me?" The man shook his head slowly. "No, Mr. Vale. We are merely offering you an opportunity. An opportunity to expand your horizons, to explore new possibilities." Raymond hesitated for a moment, torn between his natural skepticism and the allure of the unknown. Finally, he nodded slowly, intrigued enough to want to play along. The man smiled, revealing a flash of white teeth. "Excellent. Then let us begin." As the meeting continued behind closed doors, Raymond couldn't shake off a growing sense of unease. What exactly were these men trying to do? Was it a trap, or was there something more? Meanwhile, outside the tent, the atmosphere was electric. People bustled about, their voices echoing through the narrow alleyways. Some haggled over prices, while others marveled at the vibrant colors and intricate designs of the merchandise. The energy was infectious, and Raymond couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement. After all, this was Dubai, the city that never sleeps. He had come here to have a good time, and he intended to do just that. But little did he know that the adventure that awaited him would be like nothing he had ever experienced before. Back inside the tent, the meeting had taken a bizarre turn. The man had revealed his true intentions. They wanted Raymond to eat the most dangerous dish on the menu, a challenge that promised to be both exhilarating and terrifying. Just then, an old man emerged from the back of the tent. His skin was leathery, his eyes sharp and piercing. He carried himself with an air of authority that commanded respect. "You called me?" he rasped. One of the men turned to Raymond and gestured with a jerk of his chin. "This is our special guest. I believe you have something for him." The old man nodded slowly and reached under his robe, pulling out a clay pot, placed it on the table in front of Raymond, who stared at it in disbelief. "This is it," the man said, his voice low. "Eat this and prove your bravery." Raymond's heart raced as he looked at the bubbling concoction within the clay pot. It smelled exotic, almost medicinal. Doubt gnawed at him. Was he really expected to eat this? But the crowd had gathered outside the tent, eager to witness the spectacle. Raymond's face flushed with a mixture of fear and determination. Taking a deep breath, he scooped a spoonful of the mushy substance into his mouth. It tasted like a mix of sweet and sour with a hint of spice. He chewed slowly, trying to savor the flavors despite his racing heart. When he swallowed, the silence was deafening. All eyes were on Raymond, waiting for something to happen. Minutes ticked by, but nothing happened. Disappointment rippled through the crowd. Just then, Raymond's face contorted in pain. His fingers began twitching uncontrollably. He clutched at his throat, gasping for air. "I can't breathe," he wheezed. Panic surged through the crowd. Some gasped, others pointed. The old man, however, remained calm. "You see, Mr. Vale, some things are best left untouched. You should have listened." Raymond collapsed to the ground, his breathing growing shallow and his vision blurring. The men in dark suits exchanged glances, a sense of triumph in their eyes. They had won the bet. Now it was time to collect their prize. The old man stepped forward, extending a hand towards Raymond. "Come, I have something that might help." With trembling hands, Raymond reached out and grasped the old man's arm. As he was helped to his feet, he caught a glimpse of the old man's face. There was no malice in those piercing eyes, only pity. They stumbled out of the tent together, leaving behind the jeers and murmurs of the crowd. In the quiet solitude, Raymond finally understood the gravity of his mistake. He had messed with forces beyond his understanding, and now he had to face the consequences. The old man turned to Raymond, his gaze unwavering. "This is your punishment," he rasped, handing him a clay pot filled with murky liquid. "Drink this." Raymond hesitated for a moment, torn between his pride and his desperation for relief. But the pain was excruciating, and he knew he had no choice. He brought the clay pot to his lips and drank the contents in one gulp. And that's all for today. Please subscribe to our channel and comment your favorite character below.